We are back. Another episode of the Wolves Only podcast powered by JWX. This is my radio voice. Like, I come in hot. Gentlemen.
What's up?
Is it too loud for your baby ears?
What was that?
I'm at a lower altitude, so.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it must be that. Yeah.
Interesting. So, you guys drove in this morning. How was the drive?
It was good.
It was good.
It was uneventful, I think, except the Tesla wanted to drive us into a semi at one point.
Yeah.
Did you let the Tesla drive you?
We did for a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was driving, and the semi he started wiggling his trailer, and it started getting a little bit invasive. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to take over.
My my self drive in my S class is fucking awesome.
Right on.
It's awesome. I didn't know how the Tesla if you were able if you can just go hands off and let it rip, or
You have to have a little bit of back pressure on the
Do
wheel.
you? Yeah.
Just your finger just touching it. Otherwise, it's it's good. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
oh, got my label in my mouth. No, that's great. I like the self drive. It doesn't scare me at all. I'm all about it. Most people probably shouldn't be driving. Not most people, but a lot of people probably shouldn't be driving. They should just allow the machine to do the work.
It scares the shit out of me because of all the stuff I saw at the fire department.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My best Tesla story is with Flex Wheeler. He got the new Plaid.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And we get done with Jake's, we were in Vegas, and we get done with Jake's bodybuilding show, and Scotty gets in, and he gets in the back seat. Flex gets in the driver's seat. I get in the front seat. Flex takes his leg off, hands it back to Scotty. He's like, hold this, and takes us down the highway. He gets on the highway, and we go 0 to 170 miles an hour faster than you've ever, literally, dude, like my phone was sitting between my legs and it pretty much went right up my ass. Like it was
Floated.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, cause Flex has like a famous story of his car accident going like 160 miles an hour in a Benz down the 405 and smashing it and surviving.
Damn.
But yeah, that was my last Tesla experience, was in the new Plaid. That fucking thing is fast.
They are fast, and there's like no shifting or anything. It's just on.
Yeah,
And it goes.
it's wild. So, that's awesome. And then you're here just today.
Yeah. I fly out tonight, so.
Man,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Turn and burn, man.
That's awesome. Well, I'm just glad you guys came out here. This is
thanks
really
for
cool.
having us.
For sure. So, a lot's happened since our last podcast. It was Winston Churchill Day, our last podcast.
Yeah, we definitely.
Or the next day was.
The next day was, and it did happen. My wife brought me the toast and the cigar and the everything.
So it was toast, cigar, a scotch.
Yeah. So a refresher is, Winston Churchill was so fucked up on cognac and scotch and whiskey, but they said something like, he would get up in the morning, he'd have a glass of brandy with his toast and then a cigar, and then he'd move on to the whiskey and like all of this thing. So Winston Churchill Day is like literally all of that, breakfast in bed. And so, yeah, my wife brought all that to me, and yeah, I didn't smoke a cigar in bed, but it was like, I was like,
I got busted out the other day for smoking a cigar inside during a boxing match.
oh yeah.
Are we doing this now? Are we fucking? I'm like, but it feels so cool. It feels so cool to sit in my, on my couch and like,
Finally, you're just like, fuck it, I'm having one inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, the next day, we were watching. I had the football game on. Periodically, I will watch sports.
Okay.
So you guys know, I'm not a complete like anti-sports guy, but and if I'm gambling on them, then I'll watch them. But I sat there and I had the football game on and I had a cigar going. I was like, this is my dose of masculinity for the day.
Yeah.
And what day is Winston Churchill Day, again?
Well, there's some people are saying it's like the day of his death or his birth. I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah.
But we did that in June?
Yeah,
podcast?
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was
okay.
summer.
So
Early summer.
So yeah, so it's, I don't know.
Because you got Valentine's Day, February 14th for the ladies, and then March 14th now is Steak and BJ Day,
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's Steak and BJ Day
Yep.
1 month after Valentine's Day.
Steak
So
and
if you
BJ
had
Day.
Steak and BJ Day and Winston Churchill Day, if they were combined,
How
That
about
would
we just
just-
have a steak and BJ month?
that'd be heaven.
That's actually a really good idea.
Let's make that happen, huh?
I'm putting it in stone right now. What's today? No. what's today? No, it's interesting. And obviously, like being like right now, election year. A lot of things are changing constantly. Like the news cycle is faster than ever right now. And it's like I don't even know what the point is in keeping up on it anymore.
You can't.
No.
You can't.
No.
It's just so hard to know what to really believe and what not to believe when you're seeing stuff and hearing things. And
Yeah.
is that fake news? Is that AI generated? Is that now you have to look at something and say, is that even that person talking?
Who was it? It's Bill Maher. I watch Bill Maher. That's where I get my news
Okay.
from.
Yep.
Bill Maher is pretty much the only place I go. Okay. I love it. I like how he's just liberal enough, but he calls everybody out on their shit. That's me.
Okay.
I've leaned more conservative lately, but still I just have like a hard time with it all. Anyways, he was talking about how elections shouldn't be this long. Like nowhere else is it like this. Is it months of just all of it. The debates and all of it. Like some countries, it's like a day.
Debate.
Right. Well, debate. Right.
Yeah.
I think it's all unprecedented. Like it's just like I don't think we've ever seen, at least in my lifetime, like a climate like this with the technology, with the day and age of everything we have, with how quickly information comes out. Like it's just people are distracted by so many things already. I feel like it amplifies it way more than normal.
Well, consider this. Could it be literally for campaign? Like the reason we're doing it is just to extend out campaign dollars and advertising?
Possibly, yeah.
Because that's what we're running into right now. We're seeing, like, I'm not the guy who is ever going to blame an election year for business or blame the economy even for where business is going. I fucking hate that. That's the fat car dealer that owns the country club car dealership. It's like, oh, we hit our numbers. He's got, generational money. Okay, he's not hungry. But the way ads are for companies that depend heavily, small businesses that depend heavily on advertising across platforms like Meta, across platforms like Google, you need to understand that most ads are structured. Ad spend is structured in a auction style. So when you have like these politicians and political organizations spending all of this money, it's ramping up the spend. It has to, and I'm seeing it firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you. I don't think blaming, ultimately, like the president really has not a lot of power, right? Like when you look at the founding documents of this country, there's a lot of power that the president doesn't have. But I think there are, like you said, small business, which I am totally a part of. There's definitely something different that I've never seen before in 13 years that is impacting small businesses. All the big players that I talk to as well, they're kind of saying the same thing. So I think it's more distraction as opposed to blaming one party or the other, or just the process.
Right. And people run to the hills too during times like this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I couldn't fathom things that are out of my control to this level affecting my decision-making process or my execution process.
Yeah. I think it does for most people though.
Really?
I do, yeah. I think people being distracted or somewhat fearful of the outcome, they might hold back a little bit. At least that's what we see in our business, currently. Like people are just holding back. They're not they know they need to do something, whether it's, health related or fitness or business, like there might just be holding back a little bit. At least that's what
fear
I
of the
think.
unknown.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So I'll just wait.
What is gonna happen? Nothing's gonna fucking happen. Nothing's gonna happen.
Something's going to happen.
What?
I don't know. Something's going to happen one way or the other, like.
I kind of liken it to Y2K. I was standing around going, all right.
You really? You really?
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? It's gonna hit midnight.
Dude, I want to say I was like fucking 14 when Y2K happened.
Yeah, but I'm an old guy. Remember?
Yeah.
How old are you, Paul?
I'll be 40 in May. So I'm 39 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're a year and a half apart, two years apart.
Yeah, you guys are youngins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I didn't know exactly where I was when that happened. I was with my best friend at the time, and his parents were chill. Like, they let us, drink. That's where I learned to drink and all that stuff. And
nice.
We were partying, fucking 14, 15 years old, whatever it was. And nothing happened, Yeah.
The biggest crock of shit.
Meanwhile, just like 2 months ago, all the computers went down. Like, they thought it was going to go down in during Y2K.
I know. I was hosting an event that was heavily dependent on communication and the planes doing their thing.
Air travel. Yeah.
I need you guys to do your thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, too, and when you host an event like that and that shit happens, it's like it really, when most people had nothing going on. So like, oh my God, it's big news. It's all of that. Like, we were so busy doing shit that we didn't even know that was going on until we were directly impacted by it. Yeah. It's funny how that works. Yeah. That's why I hate, or why I don't see the point in keeping up with everything that's going on. Like, to that point, I'm so busy doing something, entertaining more people, helping people out, doing stuff like that, that I don't even notice that happens until it directly impacts me. There's a level of wake there, or just
yeah.
So,
well, I think too, like, most people, they believe that, whoever's in power is going to impact them, which it does to a certain extent, right? Like,
sure,
like policies and all that stuff. But I think that's why a lot of people are so distracted with what's going on and how things are playing out, in that realm of the political arena.
Right. But the basics need to be understood. Like, most people's jobs aren't on the line. Like, it's not like as if like Kamala's going like, in the last few years, like, things aren't great, right? Like inflation and all of that, but really the economy, like, we're actually doing pretty good. Like, most places are doing pretty good across the board, right? Like, money's being spent. Let's just call it what it is. Yeah. But Kamala coming back, like, it's likely not much changes at all. Trump coming in, probably not a lot's going to change right away. We're going to manage. We're going to be okay, and people need to realize that, like, if they're holding back because of this, like, you guys, like, time is everything that you have. Mm-hmm. It's limited.
That's what we were talking about, actually driving from the pier, driving over here. We had a quick conversation that, time is all we've got. So, if there is something that we want to really do in life, we need to really start thinking about it.
Yep.
I'm looking around here, realizing, hey, Stacy wants to be here.
Yeah.
I got to start really considering something like that. I got to think about that more, spend more time, because, we're all getting older, and ultimately what's really stopping us.
Right.
Well, and I think most people too, what they'll tend to do is they'll just stay in their lane and do, like, they're not, like, and that's what I mean. Like, people are distracted. Like, how many guys, not us at this table, but most men probably get up and they do the same shit every day, right? Mm-hmm. They eat the same sandwich. They go to work for 8 hours. They come home. They don't take care. They don't execute like you're talking about. They don't do all those things, and then they get up and it's fucking Groundhog Day again, and they just keep doing it, and then. And that's the thing too, like, the time that they do have to maybe gather information to make decisions is not really that great, because they just fall into that cycle.
Yep. Yeah, no, 100%. Also, you tend to, there always tends to be this, like, scarcity mindset fear that happens to people, and it cripples. It will, like, literally, it will cripple you. It'll cripple me. There are times that I have to check myself to where it's like, am I being fucking a bitch about this?
Oh yeah.
And then it's like, and I'll watch like a week go by and I get nothing done because I spent my time in some limiting scarcity mindset, and it's not, and I can see how people become perpetually and stay mediocre, right?
Yep.
Because they get so, and I get this way too. I'm not even going to lie. Like, you know, I take risks. I do a very good job of taking risks, but there are times where I say to myself, pump the brakes. And then I'm like, why? Why the fuck should I pump the brakes? Everything that I built was built off of being fucking foot on the gas.
Right. Yeah.
I built a masterpiece fucking community, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
By being foot on the gas the whole entire time. I built a badass coaching business by being fucking foot on the gas the whole entire time. And then the one time something like happens, like and it happens frequently, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where I have to like check myself, motherfucker. Like, pick your shit up. You're good.
Yeah, and you built that when people were telling you it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's not gonna be scalable. It's not, that whatever. And you basically were an outlier and just said, no, fuck it, I'm gonna make it work. And that's exactly what we're talking about on the pier of like, you go into that. I mean, I go into scarcity mindset every day. Like it takes.
It's hard not to.
There's something that happens, and that's I have a process, I have a system, I have my routine that allows me to get out of that. Some days it's easier than others, but that's the thing is like that's going to come up. And I think it takes a lot for people to get out of it, but you got to have that mentality of boots on the ground and pushing through, because that's what I deal with. Like when adversity comes up, when scarcity comes up, it's like, hold on a minute. I've done some pretty fucking gnarly stuff. I've done some scary shit. Left, my only career when I have a 2-year-old at home and I make the most money. I walked away from that after 14 years and look at where I'm at today. And it's those times that you push through to get out of that scarcity mindset in order to make the things happen.
Yep.
But it's also having guys like you in my corner. Like, we've had conversations. I talk to him. We talk about every day.
Yep.
Like just back and forth. Like, hey man, like I told him the other day, I was like, I'm fucking struggling. And, we'll go back and forth. It's like, okay, let's do this. And then, you and I, we've had conversations, and that's the other thing too. Like having people in your fucking corner that allow you to grow and get past that shit too.
100%. That's what this is all
and
about.
then understand it so that they can recognize it. They can call you out on it, and you're fine with them calling you out on it.
Yep.
Like,
Please. God, it's funny too when you, and like, this is honestly, you guys, if you're not catching on to this is actually me being vulnerable and about, myself and what we think of as entrepreneurs, because, I'm used to getting my ass kicked. I'm used to it. I'm used to taking rejection. I'm used to taking heat. I'm used to dealing with people like dumbass questions, and I'm used to dealing with the death threats, the fucking hate.
Yeah.
My pants are too tight. Oh, my shirt's too tight. Oh, you got to change this. Oh my God, you're just nice try, Diddy. That's the new one. The new one that people will comment is nice try, Diddy. So I actually made an ad where I literally say it in the ad. I go, before you go and say,
were you selling baby oil? You're like,
oh my
God, give me some baby oil.
Here we go.
but you learn to accept it, to take it, and to deal with it, the stress, all of it. But you need to have men like you. You need to have people that you can come back, like go to and be like, look, like this is what I'm dealing with right now. And if you don't have that and you're an entrepreneur, I feel really sorry for you.
Well, you also have to have, thick skin and a strong mindset. Otherwise you're never going to fucking achieve anything, and you're not going to make that decision that could impact your life. Yeah, if you don't do the work, you could fail, but so what? Or you're going to go the complete opposite direction and make something of what you're trying to do. Yeah.
I don't think we spend enough time giving credit to mindset.
Oh my God.
Even 2 years ago, I drew this picture of my life, and I had everything in this beautiful box. And then right underneath the box, I had this perfect triangle. And in the triangle, I wrote Stacy, because I tell people, and she's my core, she's my rock, she's my base. And that as long as this triangle's good and it's not moving around, the box won't shake. But then I started to realize when I was going through some negative days, things like that, she kept telling me, saying, that bothers me. That worries me. And I realize that mindset actually is the base. Then I can have my triangle, and then I can have everything else. And as long as that mindset is not shaken, the triangle's not moving, the box isn't tilting.
100%.
And it's like, it wasn't until I actually drew it and then looked at it and said, okay, now I get it.
Yep. I think a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on our significant other being the base, or being that, and that's okay. Like we always say, oh, you're my rock. But,
Right.
well, no, you are your rock.
That's
Yeah.
You are your rock.
Yep.
Well, and I just did a survey of almost 500 guys. I got almost 500 responses on social media about like, hey, what are you struggling with? And relationships was like, bar none, the top one.
Really?
It was,
Okay.
and behind that was, basically finances. So, but that just shows like, relationships are important, and obviously this is, husband and wife relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's, how you interact with your spouse and all of those things, it all takes into account, and we all have strong women, by our sides.
For
right?
sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to how many of those relationships are struggling because of finances,
Probably a lot.
or a man's love life is suffering because he feels inadequate.
Or because his mindset is fucking dog shit.
Well, yeah,
Right.
100%.
Right.
But it is incredible how when a man is broke, like not a married man, right? But like a man is broke, and his confidence is shot out. He starts accepting less for himself. That level of acceptance also becomes very perpetual. And so what I always wonder is like, okay, how many relationships are struggling because of finances? Because most of the ones that I know of are typically struggling because of finances.
Yep.
Two, if they don't have a relationship to speak of, and they answered that because they're struggling with that, is that correlated to the fact of the worth that they see and the value they see in themselves because they're low income earners?
Yeah. I also think too that the relationship dynamic struggles are because men aren't being fucking men anymore. Like
No.
they're forcing their wife to step up and make decisions, and that's, I might get hate for this, but that's not generally where the women or the wife feels secure. Like it's the whole, masculine, feminine energy type thing, which I fundamentally believe in. Like,
Yeah.
Like if you're a more feminine man and your wife shows up in more masculine types of situation, she doesn't feel safe or secure, because you're forcing her to do things that are out of her comfort zone, in a sense, and that was that book I was telling you about, the Way of the Superior Man. It really goes into that deep. Have you read that one?
No, I haven't.
It's an old one. It's like 30 years old.
So, you're speaking more in a traditional sense too. Like, when it comes to like the woman's role and things like that. I know some guys so this couple that are my age, and they took each other's last names, and I kind of thought that was silly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have also watched them as a team together become really, really successful at like everything that they do.
Yeah.
Like literally every business that they have touched, from like this photography business that blew the fuck up, like insane, like do like insane work, all the way to like a consulting company. Like they are living large, but they are like so equal.
Yeah.
In their like in what they do, and they like promote that. That's like what they're about. Now, it's easy to argue extremes, right? It really is.
That's not the couple. That's not the same couple that you see them. They're sharing a Facebook account or stuff like.
No. People share their
it's not like
Facebook.
close.
Yeah, no. No. People share their Facebook accounts because there was infidelity. That's the only reason people share their Facebook accounts. The minute you see it, like Andrew and Sophie Bennett, you're like, oh, okay, Andrew stepped out, or Sophie got hot in the DMs.
Yeah.
Someone's dick was picked. No, that's the only reason that anybody would do anything like that. Trust issues. And we're not even talking about trust issues quite yet, because I think it can get to there. But I've seen it, and again, I'm not trying to argue extremes, but I've seen it on both ends where, like, for example, my wife works.
Yeah.
But we are very traditional. But she wants to work. She wants to be able to go out and spend her own money and do her things. She doesn't pay for a fucking thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't pay a bill. She doesn't pay anything like that. But she works Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And well, you guys know what she does. Maybe not, but I don't talk about it. It's nothing weird. Just so you know, she's not like, it's just not something that I talk about. She's in sales. Anyways, and not anything again. All right. Get your mind out of the gutter. And it's like, what does Justin's wife do? It's always like a mystery.
There's a big hole being dug over there somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Next.
Yeah, next.
Well, I think there's like polarity, right? And there's always, like one thing that I've always kind of shunned is the guys that are like, oh, happy wife, happy life. Like to me that's like laying down, right? Like there's like a polarity. Like my wife and I are yin and yang, right? But I don't allow her to be, the best version of herself if I'm like, yeah, whatever, honey, whatever you want to do. Even though inside as a man, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a polarity there that, and you can have people like you mentioned that are fucking killing it. I'm not saying that's the only recipe to kill it. It's just, I think in the work that, I do, Brian does, you do, like, there's that dichotomy of the man not stepping into the role that he needs to in order to see that relationship thrive because he's a fucking beta man. Like that's,
Well, I think it goes as, like, so for me, like there's certain areas that I draw the line.
That's that polarity.
Yeah. Fucking A. Financial decisions.
Yep.
I would never ask my wife for, like, before making a financial decision. It would never happen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to. Mm-hmm. And I would be able to say to myself, well, she married me because she trusts my discernment.
Security.
Right? Yes. Mm-hmm. Right? So if I were to buy something, do something, spend money, invest money, whatever, no, I don't need to call her. I don't need to talk to her about it. She'll be okay. She'll understand. Men that are breadwinners. Okay. Now listen, like, you're a little bit different. You're business partners with your wife. So every decision is a business decision, right? Yep. And some men are just dumbasses with their money. So their wives probably should be in charge of it. But at the end of the day, if you're the breadwinner, or you guys both have like your own careers and own options, I absolutely believe that, if you're both capable, willing and able to make good decisions, you shouldn't need to consult with one another. It should just be, I married my person because they make good decisions.
Yeah. And even in my business, like we like our roles in the business are very much like that. Like I make the operational decisions. I'm not involved in patient care. She'd much rather just be like, hey, I'm just going to be in my area that I'm good at, and I'm going to put you in your area that you're good at. You're good at making the decisions. You're good at setting up the systems and the processes. And, that's like where I thrive, right? So, that's where, I think you have to do that in life too. And, when it comes to working with your spouse, there's one rule I have. You don't talk business in bed. There's only two things you do in bed: sleep and sex. No business in bed. Like, that's the number worry.
Give me the reports, Daddy. Yeah, no, it's that's true.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. That's exactly what it's like. You look at you're a team. You look at what you're good at, what you're not good at, and if I'm not good at something and she is, that's you. I'm not going to question the decision there.
Yep.
I just don't think men are really. I think masculinity is in danger. Like, do you agree?
Yeah, well, yeah, and to that point too. And the other day, I got on a call with a guy who was dating his girlfriend for 2 months. He's like, I gotta check with the old ball and chain. I'm like, you've been dating for 2 months, bro. Like,
the ball and chain. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
There ain't no fucking links in that chain.
Yeah, you guys live together already? Like, what are you doing?
That's gonna be a happy wife, happy life type of guy.
Yeah,
like that's you know what I mean? Like,
his balls are
chained.
Yeah, fully chained.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we're all married to powerful women too. Like, it's it's not to like downplay that. It's just I think there's traditional roles that men aren't just stepping up to the plate, and they fucking need to.
I have a successful wife. You have a successful wife. You have a successful wife, and we're all in the same exact situation. So if anyone's listening to this, it's like, well, they don't know what they're talking about. Well, guess what? We do.
Yeah.
We have it. You know, don't take our advice.
As successful couples, you rise together. Now you might rise like this.
It almost will never be parallel. Like it'll usually always have like, and that's where like the support system is so awesome.
Yeah.
You know. My wife doesn't like to be in the face of anything. She doesn't like to have like her Instagram is private, things like that. She likes to keep things private. Yeah. But she has her own personal goals that she goes and she just moves in silence. And I love that about her because I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah, that's that polarity, man. That's what I'm saying. Like that's exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your face is on everything.
Fucking A, dude. You're telling me, man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, I definitely think that men need to step up to the occasion, and you know, that's why masculinity is in danger, and that's kind of my focus, just helping guys realize that, and helping get them to a place where they're not having those relationships, problems, even when finances or fitness or whatever comes up, or business, right,
Mm-hmm.
So, but you do see these guys that haven't stepped up. Their wives have had to, and then you're like, okay, well, you make the home, you make the babies, you make the money. What do? You make you make the mac and cheese.
What the fuck do you do?
What do you do?
You got it there. Yeah, that's like I had to ask somebody that the other day, and I don't want to bust the person out, but I literally had to ask them because they were like giving me like. It was like one of those situations where it was like, what's your day look like? And at the end of it, I was so blown back with how much bullshit that they do. And I'm like, first of all, in my head, I'm like, what does your wife think about you?
Yeah.
And secondly, it was like, that was exactly the question. What the fuck do you do? Really? Like, what do you do? Nothing.
No. He probably told you he's busy too.
Oh my God, busy.
I'm so busy. Here's one for you.
Yeah, probably.
I'm busy. I'm tired. I got a lot going on. Like, the fuck? No millionaire is saying that. No successful person is saying that. You give your things to the most busy people because they get it done the fastest. You're not busy. You're preoccupied. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
You're preoccupied, and you're preoccupied with bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're fucking preoccupied. You're not doing anything at all. You're keeping yourself busy. And that's the other thing too.
Yeah.
Oh man, life's thrown me a lot. I've been just staying busy.
Sure.
Says he literally kicks a tire. Like
hands in his pocket.
Yeah. Well, just staying busy. Fuck you.
Well, and then they'll be like, oh, I don't have time to work out.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Yeah, too busy.
Yeah, those are the same people that are living the dream. Living the dream.
We're going to smash all those fucking sayings right now. Like,
yeah, every saying gets smashed today. Living the dream. Fuck you too. You're not living the dream. If you're working for another fucking man, you're not living the dream.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing too. Like, men need to be called out. Just like we're doing here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it, if you get a zinger in there and you're like, I don't like what you're saying. Like, yeah, you need to be called out. Why? Because you're in the position that you're in because you have never been called out.
Yep.
Right? And that's where...
Enabled.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Socially enabled. Your friends are... I almost said it. Your friends are losers. They're losers. And they're holding you back. You're surrounding yourself with fucking imbeciles, and it's holding you back. And it's causing you to be weak, small, and gay.
But I'm busy.
I'm fucking busy.
Being weak.
Being weak. Yeah. You're fucking busy. Actually, it's funny. I spoke with a guy the other day who gave me I got 3 businesses, man. I'm really busy. I'm like, yeah, so do I. Here I am literally talking to you right now. Like, And then we get all the way through it. And the guy that was so busy, didn't have a fucking dollar to his name.
Mm. What do you have 3 businesses for? Like, why not excel in one?
One.
I mean, if you
That's what the problem is.
but unless you're a multimillionaire, multi-successful, and you're like, no,
None
I
of
can
them
now.
got there with multiple businesses. Yeah. They got there with one.
Yeah,
They got there with
Right.
one fucking business.
yeah,
Huh.
And then they bought more businesses.
Yeah.
yeah. I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. What is with all these influencers shitting on mindset and routines? And
Who's this?
oh, dude, I've just
Did I get caught up?
no, I just no. But I'm asking
We know you don't like the cold plunge, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's-
cold plunge
you
is
know.
gay.
Yeah, like
It's gay.
I
Sorry, it's gay. I'm fucking out of here. The cold plunge is so gay.
it's gay because you won't do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
but it's part of the routine, and that's
Yeah.
it's-
So lately, well, like what I've been seeing, Ryan Panetta friggin' called it out. I just posted a reel today. I don't remember the guy's name, but he's got like 400,000. Oh, your morning routine and all these things that you do not. He said it's alarming because it doesn't allow you to make the hard phone call. It doesn't allow you to make the hard decision. I'm like, motherfucker, if you're disciplined enough to get up and cold plunge and work out and build the body that you want and run the business, like the phone call and the hard shit, like you're able to make those decisions a lot easier because of your discipline, because of, but I've just seen it a lot on social media. Like, I'm like, these guys are fucking clowns. They're, oh yeah.
Well, remember the one guy that you're talking about is like a pastor one day, and then he's like then a business guru the next, and he's got, and get rich because God wants me to be rich is another situation. Those fucking guys are gay, and I'm just saying it all day long. Get rich because God wants you to live abundantly. Gay, fuck you. Anyways, God doesn't give a fuck with what's going on with your life in terms of finances. Sorry, that's just me.
I've been seeing it just being shit on completely, and
it is. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that they're looking more at like the pivot in the journey and being able to be whatever. But I'll tell you something. I've abandoned my morning routine.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's why I was asking you, because I know that you used to,
Oh, I was religious and about it and scripted with it.
You've completely stopped everything.
Completely.
Yeah.
Well, I've changed things around.
Okay. So
But my morning routine is now, it's straight to my office. Okay. It's usually like I'm still reading in the morning. I have to read.
Yeah.
I read a lot.
Yeah.
So like that's something I have to do. So usually when I wake up in the morning, I go straight to my office. I get a coffee, and I go to my office. Now it's early still. It's still 4:30 in the morning, and I sit in darkness with like a really cool light over top of my book, and I listen to music just loud enough to where it doesn't travel up the hall and wake Lizzie, right? And I spend about an hour and a half reading.
So
and
you haven't abandoned
blaring.
it. It's just changed because you're. It's a different level. It's a different season. Mm-hmm. So it's. But that's the thing is like, what was your morning routine that allowed you to get to the level that you're at?
So yeah, well,
mean?
and this is where I'm going to disagree with you because I don't disagree with people. Some people need to have the morning routine because it's like they're stacking wins to keep their discipline throughout the day. I appreciate that, and there was probably a point in my life where I did need that in my journey. Mm-hmm. But I think that that you graduate when if one spring is missing on the trampoline, you can still jump on it, right?
Right.
And you have a strong enough program to where like, if you change things up or if whatever happens, or one day you can't, like it used to be detrimental for me. If my fucking routine got thrown off, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
My next day would be fucking ruined.
Really? Okay.
So it was almost as if I relied so hard on the routine that when something did come up, I was so hard on myself for it that it was like fucked up my next day of the routine.
Yeah.
So I started to learn to appreciate, and I do not believe in balance, but just not being so rigid.
Yeah.
And knowing when to pivot. I was unhappy training at 5:00 in the morning.
Exactly.
I fucking hated it.
Yep.
So I didn't train hard. I didn't enjoy it. I got home, and when I train hard, I get nauseous. especially when I'm on an empty stomach. So then the next hour is me like getting in the shower, right? And then I'm still sweating because I'm training, and then I had a hot shower, and then I'm like fucking miserable. I don't want to do that.
Are you really disagreeing though? I feel like that was
What I'm
you know what I
saying
mean?
is, what I'm saying is that I think a rigid routine is good when you are doing a lifestyle change. Okay, whether it's like you're losing weight, getting in the best shape of your life, you're living a rigid routine is very, very good. I think it is important though to build a foundation so strong to where if you need to pivot, you can pivot. If you're not happy with it, that's my problem.
Yeah.
That's my problem is like waking up and sticking your fucking cock in a bear trap and getting in a gay fucking cold plunge and you have to do 25 burpees and then, all like put in your gratitude calendar and blah, 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 blah. Like,
Has he been watching our social media?
I think so.
I'm sorry. I just think that when it's like so much, like you're excluding so many things out of your life and you're whatever, you're like,
I think it has to be adaptable and it has to be moldable, right? Like like I said, I believe there's seasons to being an entrepreneur. There's seasons to life. There's all of those things.
Right.
And it's just like the coaches that are, like, oh, do exactly what I do. I think that's bullshit. Like, oh, here's the protocol I follow. So yeah, you don't like cold plunge. I love it. But if I was trying to coach you, I would never be like, do what I do because that worked for me. It's like,
right.
that's never going to work for you. Like it's
Not sustainable. I hate when people say that, but it's true. It's like, 75 hard is not sustainable.
Yeah, I did it twice. Yeah.
You made it all the way through?
Twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's actually what got me into cold plunging was that program. Because the next phase 1, I think you start taking cold showers for 5 minutes. And that's where I was like, man, I really do like this and it's hard. And I'll be honest, like I did 75 hard. I failed it 3 times, but I needed that fortitude or that framework in order to be successful.
Yeah.
And we did it in the middle of COVID, and I live in Colorado, so we actually started in October, and we were in the winter, cold as fuck, negative out there doing the walks, and because I made it harder in order to establish that good mindset and that stuff. But what I'm saying is, I went back and I did it a second time, and after that second time, I was like, you know what? I've graduated from this, and I've established certain things in my life and my routines or how I approach things in order to be. I don't need to go back and do it again.
Right.
And so,
Yeah. I think for one other thing too is like for myself, like being as ADD as I am, the routine was really helpful.
Yeah.
Until things became second nature.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was again, like I said, I think that you should be able to graduate. Like there became a point in my life where it was like, I want to start being motivated to do things. Like the discipline thing, I had it down. I got it. Like I get it. Like, I know, I believe me, dude, I'm running a fucking tough diet lately. If you haven't noticed, I trimmed down quite a bit, right? But anyways, and I know how to turn that on and I know how to jump back on it and things like that. So I think a lot of times those rigid routines are very valuable for somebody who's like just getting sober, or needs to lose 100 pounds or whatever. It's very hard to get sober without a program. It's very hard to lose 100 pounds without a very rigid program. Yeah. But once you get there, you can pivot. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with routine at all. But cold plunge is gay.
Different. See, I'm not a morning
not the
cold
title
plunge
of this podcast.
I have a cold plunge.
Yeah?
I do. And I don't use it in the morning. I'm somebody that struggles with sleep. So in the afternoon, I can't be having a coffee or something to get refocused, wake up. I'll cold plunge. And it, for the sole purpose of it, wakes me the fuck
wakes you
way
up.
up. Just like, whoa,
all right.
I'm awake. Okay. Yeah. I'm shivering a little
But then
bit.
you got to take all your clothes off and put them on, everything back on, redo your mustache.
Tie that shit up. I don't go all the way under. You just got to go up to your neck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
there's nothing wrong with a little midday nakedness.
Yeah, man, I'm learning a lot about you today. There, Brian.
Out to the garage.
Yeah.
If you ever see me cold plunge on video, that's usually before I get in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just there.
Yeah, you don't want the shrinkage.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
Or maybe it does.
Oh.
God.
It's shrinkage. Shrinkage.
Oh, you knew it was going to go off the rails
Oh,
at some
yeah,
point.
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Um,
So, like, what's going on with your program? Like, have you changed that up since the last time we spoke?
Oh, my program is complete trash right now. No, honestly, it's been, I simplified everything.
Okay.
Right now, I am really focused on creativity,
Cool.
How so?
having fun with content.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so boring. Content is so fucking boring right now, and I just want to like make some cool shit and actually enjoy like having the best videographer in Orange County that works for me. And I'm so fucking lucky.
Yeah.
He's looking around. Is he talking about me? Is it you?
It's you, Freddie.
Yeah. Looks good, man.
It's you, Freddie. Just step to the mic, brother.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Yeah, hey. So I'm like, what the fuck? You know, the other day I'm like, I own all these cameras. I have this little studio here, and then you guys don't know, this studio is just a little humble little guy. It's just a little place off the beaten path. Okay, someday if you ever want to come, as long as you're not a weirdo.
Yeah.
Okay, you can smoke cigars in here. We're not really supposed to, but we do anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have like all the equipment, we have all the talent and the access to like some cool fucking people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why the fuck am I not like using this and like really making fun stuff instead of just my fat ass sitting there staring at the camera talking? Like, it's boring. Content is boring. So I'm going to just start having fun with it.
Yeah.
So really it's been, and then, you know, JT wanted to take over like all, JT and Matt are taking over like all the front end of the company. So I'm bored, you know?
Yeah.
So now I'm like doing, I feel like I'm a retired guy again with but with all the stress of an entrepreneur. So nothing's changed internally, but externally I'm living the life of my dreams.
Yeah, as you should. 100%.
And I think you're swinging back to the basics, even with the content development, and that is cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people are realizing, hey, I got to just stop overcomplicating this and just get back to what I love to do.
Right. And I love creating. But it's just gotten to the level that it's so, and that's what's desired, which is crazy to me. It's like boring shit is what people are watching. And
they're not watching my boring shit.
no,
They're watching me do my beard. Like, that's like the number one fucking 21,000 views of my beard routine.
well, you can't,
Just look at that.
you know, basically like you have tits.
Jesus.
You basically have tits, but it's in the shape of a hairy beard, right? Like if you're scrolling and that beard pops up, I don't care who you are, you're gonna stop. The same way that you're gonna stop, assuming that your wife's not looking over your shoulder when you're on your phone.
Yeah.
That's me. You know. But, what do you mean? That was just on my feed. No, she doesn't.
It's the
give a-
algorithm.
Yeah, it's the algorithm. No, I have a Latina wife, but she's not that kind of Latina wife. You know what I mean, Freddie? Is your wife that kind of Latina wife?
You know what? Yeah, but no.
Is she a little?
I don't-
Is she
I don't give-
how do you say it? Toxica?
Yeah, toxica. No,
Toxica.
I don't give her a reason to.
Okay. Wow.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the
There we
answer.
go.
That's the answer. You know, it's funny because my algo is like completely just like fitness people. So it's all the models with their their butthole leggings that like go all the way into the butthole.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that's my algo. Like, sorry, I'm in the fitness world.
Yeah.
You know, it's either beefy guys. Literally, my grid probably looks like half Rolexes, beefy, muscular guys, and big-titted women. And it's like, that's all I get, you know? I don't look at cars. I don't look at fucking sports. Oh, and WWE. I got a little WWE in my
there you go.
algo, too.
And cold plunge is gay? WWE?
Listen, all the beefy dudes, the WWE,
Like if-
Cold
if
Plunge
we-
is still gay.
If we put WWE on here, they're in leather boots and baby oil.
Wheezy Diddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting their ditty on.
You know what the gayest part about Cold Plunge is? Kissing your boyfriend before you get into it.
Wasn't it you that said if your dad doesn't have a beard, you have two moms?
That's exactly right.
Where'd your
Really?
beard go?
Oh, good. For goodness sakes. So, I like this. I like the short beard.
Hey, man.
You drop 50 grand into your teeth. You want that
I'm
shit.
sure.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like if I do like before, if I had my beard still long, it'd be like I put like a big shrub in front of my new house.
Yeah. Just don't ever clean shave. You won't ever do that.
No, and you don't want to see me clean shave.
You wanted to shave your beard and just leave your mustache the other day.
That's what I did, but I just took it
No,
down to
you
like.
wanted to go full bald.
Whoa.
Like you just wanted to leave
Yeah,
your
Freddie.
mustache.
Freddie was like,
yeah.
and I listen to Freddie. His job is to make me look somewhat good.
And you're like, no, stop,
Just
don't.
like-
Yeah, you're gonna make my job really hard, Justin.
Yeah.
I shaved this off once about 10 years ago, and I was told, don't you ever do that again.
No.
Doesn't mind it going short, just don't ever shave it clean. Like, all right.
Yeah.
I always had facial hair, even in high school, man. I had a flavor saver at one point.
Oh yeah.
You know, because I couldn't have a beard in the fire department. That's why this whole thing exists.
Yeah, you were doing like the 3 Doors Down look, huh?
Well, I don't even know what that is.
Like the Nickelback look. I had the flavor saver too.
Really?
Yeah, but you know what you call it when you get out of a cold plunge?
No.
A ball tickler. It's a ball tickler because it's gay.
All this shit talking, man. I did 37 degrees the other day.
Whoa,
Yeah, it was fucking cold.
tough guy.
No.
That's all right. I'm just kidding. I'm always gonna hate on the cold plunge because it's so miserable. And you know it's actually funny.
it is
It's
miserable.
funny that we're talking about this now because this morning I was talking to Shane, the guy who like kind of popped my cold plunge virginity for 7 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
And it just made me think of the cold plunge again. And I was like, this guy better not be inviting me back to fucking the cold plunge place because I am not gonna go.
Not gonna.
He's trying to interview me while I'm sitting in the fucking thing.
Yeah.
I'm like miserable. This is fucking
Yeah,
miserable.
I can barely breathe when I'm in it. Never
Yeah.
mind try to talk.
ISIS. It's
All right.
it's not really, but she's the bomb. It's Iris. It's Iris, but I call her ISIS.
Oh my gosh.
Edis.
There
we good?
go.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
rolling.
we're rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
All
we're,
right.
yeah.
Might have
So-
to cut the ISIS out though.
Yeah.
Well, I don't give a shit.
Okay, ISIS.
Have you ever seen that meme? It's like me and my homie start our first podcast, and like it's Jonah Hill and that cat from War Dogs getting like hauled out by the FBI.
Oh, yeah.
So it's so fucking funny.
So there we go.
Isn't he Jack now? Jonah Hill?
He's like skinny.
He's skinny, yeah.
No, I
He's-
thought
Did he get jacked?
I think he did, and that's
Did he?
bullshit. Yeah, I mean,
I thought he was
think
just
saw
like what you
something.
call fat skinny. Like
No,
he just,
He's been surfing and stuff. He's been like staying
Okay.
in like Hawaii and stuff. Don't ask me how I know this.
Yeah.
I got the
You-
hot. I got
you
the hot
know.
take. I got the hot take on all the stars.
gay.
That is good. That's funny.
What's the gay count, Freddie? Like, how many gays
We're
are
up.
there?
We're up quite a bit.
You know, we talked about this. We needed a gay button. Remember?
Yeah,
We never got that.
And I need to make myself perfectly clear, you guys. I am not a homophobe.
Yeah.
Okay. When I say gay, I do not mean gay. What I don't mean is like two dudes.
Yeah.
Doing things. When I say gay, I mean like we're gonna insurrect the Capitol. Gay.
yeah.
You know what was the funniest
Or like
moment?
what was? Yeah.
When John Anderson was like, "Am I gay?"
Yeah.
Remember, was it? You want to tell
Yeah.
the story?
Yeah, he was like, I became infatuated when he was on the last podcast, so we can say this. He's like, I became infatuated with big, strong men, and I was like, am I gay? And I was like, no, you're a bodybuilder. Which, yeah, you're gay. No, I'm kidding, bodybuilder. Sorry. Gay. It's like gay is like the guy that like he gets out of a BMW and like
Yeah,
has
it's like,
a Movado on.
it's like calling your friend on his birthday and be like, "Yeah, what's up, gay?" Like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's not. Yeah, it's not a. I don't know.
we don't need to explain ourselves
They-
either,
they
though. We
can't-
don't
yeah,
need to explain
they-
ourselves.
We'll just. Yeah.
And if we need to explain ourselves to you, well, then you're gay. So
just insert that movie where they're getting hauled out, by the FBI.
Yeah.
Right after
Yeah.
this, just cut and just. Yeah, there you go. But yeah.
anyways, so want to talk about politics?
Yeah, we kind of already went there.
Yeah?
But, I mean,
Like real politics?
how much time you got. That's the.
I
don't know. I mean, I don't know. Politics.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah,
Might get
it's just-
shadow banned.
everybody's fucking.
Everybody's
I don't
talking
know. Like
about
it's everybody's talking about it or they're avoiding it and.
Let's talk about how politics are gay.
Period. Done. Wrapped.
Yep. All right, we're done with that topic.
I don't know what else. Like what else is going on?
Yeah. What are you guys watching? Any good shows right now?
I'm thinking.
You guys watching Tulsa King? It's back. No.
I started it, but I never. I don't.
You
I
didn't
don't.
get into it.
I didn't. I mean, I watched like one or two, but yeah, I don't. I don't spend a whole lot of time watching TV.
No, you don't get into a series ever.
Sometimes I do.
Speaking of gay,
We do once in a while. Yeah.
have you started the Aaron Hernandez?
No, I
the
have not
new
yet.
one.
Yeah.
I
No, I
saw
haven't
it.
yet.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
It's shot like Lifetime movie quality.
Okay.
Okay, but that's really gay. I mean, that actually is really gay. Aaron Hernandez was pretty gay. But it's good. It's you didn't know some of this stuff about him, unless you watched you followed the whole thing.
Yeah, there's something else that came out a few years ago about him. I didn't know if it was on HBO or whatever, and it was just really interesting just to see just how messed up that dude was.
Yeah, yeah. They're able to they're able to do experiments on his brain now. I think,
Okay.
which is interesting because he has like that CTE.
CT. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't get hit in the head. That doesn't make you gay. I've been hit in the head a lot of times, and I don't think I'm gay.
That's what.
I don't want anybody tapping
That's
in
what
my
somebody
head.
who's gay would say.
Have you seen that one guy that's like, I'm going to snap my fingers, and you're going to forget that you were ever gay?
Yeah, I think
He's like, wait, what?
wait,
He's like,
no, you can't do that. Yeah, that was good. That was
I
a
know,
good one.
I know.
We could you could talk conspiracy theories.
Yeah. What do you like? I like them all.
What's the
You know what's funny about a conspiracy theory? You have an Android, so I know that you're a conspiracist.
Yeah.
You guys know the rule about Androids?
Oh, I can't wait for this one.
Yeah.
The rule with Androids is not every Android user is a conspiracy theorist. But if you're a conspiracy theorist
You have an Android.
and you're looking for a mobile carrier or device, you're probably going to go with an Android.
All I know about the mobile phone is if we're about to watch something, maybe want to watch an old movie or something like that, we will not say it out loud in our house. We'll
Otherwise
we'll
it'll-
write it down. Otherwise, that fucker's $3.99. You got to write that.
You know what's really
we've been experimenting with that. We'll actually say it. Got to pay for it. Don't
That's
say
so
it.
funny.
It's free. Say it. Pay for it.
wow.
That's
It's like
interesting.
Siri, Alexa, those bitches talk, and
all of a sudden
They're chattering bitches. Siri and Alexa, you're a bunch of chattering bitches. Oh, yeah, no shit. Yeah, what is your newest? What's the newest grease right now? What's I don't like Alex Jones conspiracy. I want like the real goods.
The real good. What is the real good? I don't know.
Because Alex Jones is a little goofball. Some of you guys love him. I don't know.
I don't know what's the latest. I mean, don't even spend time on flat earthers, but moon landing, real or fake?
oh my.
I don't know. I just saw it. I saw it before we came in here while we were driving down. Someone was like, yeah, and it's like 1,000 comments.
Moon landing, real or fake? I mean, they've been arguing this for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have been on it, but I mean, I'm sure we have been on it. But that one, the first one,
Yeah.
like the what was his name? Armstrong.
Yeah.
Fake.
Yeah.
Fake.
I would say fake.
There was too much on the line for it not to be like a production.
Or
Like,
yeah.
or like what did I see? It's like the ship's like blasting off, and they got a video camera of the ship like leaving.
How far down the 9/11 rabbit hole have you been?
A little bit.
You were a firefighter.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I've heard some wild things, claims.
wild shit, yeah.
There's wild claims. I've heard wild claims of like there was never even any airplanes.
Wow.
Okay. Elaborate.
I saw a whole thing about holograms, that the airplanes were holograms.
Really?
Yep. And
I never saw that. Yeah.
and no, it's interesting. And we actually have the technology to do that. And to like, you know, and what the technology is actually used for is for defense. And it's for like creating like a catastrophic event. Like that's what they use it for.
Okay.
There's a name for it that I'm sure I'm
I think
butchering.
it's called Project Bluebeam.
Is that what it is?
I think so, where they use like the holograms, right?
Yeah, to create some sort of like catastrophic event to like devastate a community or an area.
Yeah.
Which, and again, I'm saying it now like we're talking about it, and like the juices are flowing. So now it's like you want to believe it because it's like way better than the actual story.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously, there's been, you know, who's big in it is the Ron Paul's son. Rand Paul.
Yeah.
He's like big into like the fucking, you know, backing all the engineers who built the buildings and things like that. Rand Paul is he's a big proponent of let's figure out what really happened here. We know that one didn't fly into the Pentagon. That would have been like a fucking threading a needle.
Especially the day before, where they like couldn't, you know, find the funds or whatever for like, I don't remember how big it was. It was like $50 billion or some shit like that.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a whole thing where, was it Rumsfeld? It's been a while since I've been into any of that stuff. I don't have time to really focus and, you know, go down that rabbit hole lately. But
there was also like evident reports of one of like the Boeings. One of the original Boeing dudes that was like, dude.
how about just like making phone calls from an airplane?
Well, yeah, that. But he literally said one of my planes didn't crash into those towers.
Oh, shit.
And evidently some of the parts that they found down below were like parts that were already turned into junkyards up in like Staten Island and shit.
Oh, wow.
So I like this stuff, but again, it's just because it's so much better than like some fucking guys like taking over with box cutters and you know, doing that. The other thing too that's interesting about that, now that we're just on the topic, and this is actually kind of fun, is like those guys weren't good pilots. Like they weren't like awesome pilots that could like thread through like New York City, and even like some of the best pilots couldn't accomplish that type of thing at flying at that level. And you know, to do it twice.
Yeah.
The two guys that learned how to fly planes on fucking props.
Yeah. I didn't go too deep into that one, but
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I spent some time on it. I had my little detective hat on.
Well, I mean, I think,
And that was it.
But I think like you asked about shows. It's like most shows kind of suck nowadays. You know, they're remaking all the old movies that were, you know, and I think, you know, it's like people want to get to the bottom of stuff too. But you know, I was an investigator. I like that shit. You know, but
Fire investigator.
that's how I finished my career as a fire investigator. So, you know, we were always trying to figure out how the fire started and all that stuff. And
Right.
so, you know, but like, you know, like with that conspiracy theory, you look at like the melting of the beams and all that, like
The
heat that's
yeah.
needed to do that, and could jet fuel do this? Like, I don't know, man. I don't think everything seems the way it's portrayed all the time. Like the perception's not always what it is. You know, especially in stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Well, you know, next time you're in town, we can drive north and see how close we can get to Area 51
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, aliens. That's a good
before
one.
they.
Oh yeah, there's
Shoot at us.
I'm all about aliens.
Yeah, for sure.
Will they? Is that like pretty
I don't
protected?
know.
You never even been over there?
No, you can't get close to it.
Yeah, you got to be in a
then
really
even-
shitty RV to get close to it.
Yeah. And then even when you fly out of Vegas, if you're heading to Northern California, you're taken way out and around.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
They won't fly over it, right?
Yeah. No, they don't even fly anywhere near it.
Well, it's unacceptable to think that we're like, it's just really egotistical, really, to think that we're the only things out there.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know,
Yeah.
although it's dangerous to make it like open information, because if there is, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
If extraterrestrial life is real, does that peel away from most faith-based systems?
I don't believe so.
Why not?
I mean, I'm a man of faith.
I know.
don't
I
believe
understand.
so.
That's what I'm asking, though. You don't think it would be catastrophic to most faith-based systems?
Not in my experience with my own faith.
Okay.
I would say no. Not for me.
Yeah, well, because there's other things too, like dinosaurs, obviously, and like man walking with dinosaurs, unlikely. So there's a lot
That's
of
a whole conspiracy theory on dinosaurs. You know that?
Talk to me about
Is
it.
there?
I know a little bit about this, so
so
I'm
like
curious.
so like when they're, and I actually think it is biblically based. I don't know enough to give the finite details, but when they're like, oh, it's 60 million years old.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's some text or whatever that's like, no, it's not that old. It's like 60,000, not 60 million or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it's really not as far removed as it's been portrayed.
But that's still drastically different than the 4,000 years. That that's where I have a hard time. So I will tell you this: there is, and this is actually, we're going politics, religion, and all of it. And I like this stuff. I get really into like theology. I fucking love like C.S. Lewis is one of my favorite authors.
Yeah.
And there's talks like in the Bible about a behemoth, right? Like they talk about the behemoth, right? And what's interesting about this, and this is arguing the case for what you're actually talking about. And I don't actually believe man ever walked with dinosaur. However, what a few Christian scientists, and not the weirdo Christian scientists, like Christians that happen to be scientists, not Christian scientists, talk about in the Bible where they talk about the behemoth. If you go down below and like the subtext down below where like the definitions are, it says behemoth, because in the actual scripture it says had a tail like a tree trunk.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
But then down below it says quite possibly an elephant or a rhino or a hippopotamus.
Right.
Okay. Well, look at the tails on an elephant, right? So,
Right.
but what's interesting is that the Bible was written before we discovered dinosaurs.
Right.
So there's a little bit of like a tell that the Bible did talk about dinosaurs, but the timing is so fucked up.
Yeah.
It's so off, and it's like we cannot accept that the Earth that we are 4,000 years in existence when we know for a fact that trees are 10,000 years in existence.
Yeah.
Or like like when they drill into the Earth's core and they do all that, what is it, carbon dating or whatever. Like,
Correct.
But I don't know. I mean, like, could that just be based on a fucking theory, and that's what they build off of, you know what I mean? Like,
So Rob Bell, famous Christian pastor, Rob Bell argues, doesn't even fucking matter.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talks about that in a chapter in Velvet Elvis called Jump, where he literally discusses like tomorrow, like for example, and he actually uses this in the Christian world. Really, like he had a lot of backlash from these topics. He discussed whether hell was real and whether it was biblical or not. And he also talked about the concept of immaculate conception, and that immaculate conception is not actually what's biblical. Okay, it was born of a virgin, and born of a virgin meant that you were born from a woman who had sex and got pregnant her first time. So what Rob Bell argues is that if tomorrow we found out that there's we were able to carbon date and ipso facto all the shit, Jesus Christ happened to have a biological father, and his name was in Velvet Elvis. And I haven't read this book in like 20 years, by the way. So just to get it's about literally it's the.
No.
It's a very famous book. You should read it. It's fantastic. Rob Bell, it was one of the best sellers. Rob Bell ended up becoming an Oprah's book club, like top person. Like he still is to this day. Rob Bell is very well known. He's from my hometown. Was my pastor for a little while, actually. Very brilliant dude. Very brilliant. But he's been like shunned from like the West Michigan Christian world. Anyways, what difference would it make?
True.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't unravel. It's like when I talk to a lot of Mormons and like you start talking about Joseph Smith and you're like, and like their whole, like you can see it in their eyes, like the whole system unravels, but it's like, we don't care.
Yeah.
It works for
Look
our
at
family.
Scientologists. That whole religion was started with a science fiction author.
Yeah.
It's like who wrote more fake shit than anybody.
Well, but you gotta wonder.
You just like
You never get yourself wondering about Scientology?
No, fuck no.
No,
Really?
You haven't?
No.
There's been a
but
lot
see,
of stuff on
but
Have you?
documentaries and that you can watch on.
Yeah. I've watched those, but I don't
yeah.
like. I separate my faith from religion.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
That's-
should.
Yeah, that's.
That's how C.S. Lewis basically puts it. And he was well known for that ahead of time. There's actually there's a really good movie. It's all discussion about with C.S. Lewis, or it's supposed to be a guy who plays C.S. Lewis, and what's his name? The German dude. He was a famous atheist. He's the one who founded psychology. Sigmund Freud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, where basically the two of them sat down and they were like locked in a room together for a couple days, or maybe not locked in a room, but they like spent a couple days like picking each other's brain, arguing. It's a good film. It's really good.
You remember the name of it, or
Sigmund or hang on, my wife's calling me.
that would be good.
Let's answer. Hey, babe.
Hey.
You're live on Wolves Only podcast
We're
right
now
now.
taking live phone calls. Yeah, so put the number up on the screen. Call us.
Say
if
hi
you
to
disagree with
everybody.
Justin.
Hi.
All right, love you.
You can hit up his
Big
DMs.
chill. See you at home.
Are you on your way home?
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk to you later. I got to get back to this. We're talking about Sigmund Freud and C.S. Lewis. It's your favorite topic.
Did you go to the gym today?
Yeah, did you go to the gym today, Justin?
Yeah.
Bye, babe. I love you. Sigmund Freud. It's called. Hang on, I can tell you. Let's consult ChatGPT. What is the newer C.S. Lewis Sigmund Freud movie that just came out? It's on Amazon Prime.
And it's $3.99. Now that you said it
Now
in
that you
your
said
phone.
Yeah,
Should have wrote it.
it's ChatGPT though.
Yeah, maybe one time we should take live callers. Talk about
Freud's Last Session.
Okay.
is it based on
Okay.
a true story?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Okay, that'd be cool.
yeah. Anthony Hopkins plays Sigmund Freud,
Yeah.
and Matthew Good
Okay.
plays C.S. Lewis. And it's like World War II. They're like going through it and stuff. Have you read any C.S. Lewis books other than like?
Yeah,
Chronicles
back
of
when I was a
Narnia?
kid. Yeah, and we just showed my boys Narnia, the
Yeah, have
movie,
you-
and they were digging it, and you
Yeah.
know we're talking about it and what it's really portraying and all that stuff, and so
Have you read Screw Tape Letters? That's a
screw tape letters.
yeah. It's essentially uncle and nephew that are demons that are writing letters to each other about like screwing a dude's life up basically.
Wow.
And like giving like different perceptions of like,
Yep.
instead of like completely demolishing him over here, let's distract him. And like how they would like, and it's Screw Tape. It's Wormwood and Screw Tape are the two demons. And it's cool. It's a really cool book. I think everybody that should read that. If you were to read the two C.S. Lewis books that are like the must is Mere Christianity and Screw Tape Letters.
Okay.
Isn't it funny that I'm like the faithless guy and I know all the fucking.
And I was also going to say, if you like that, there's an older book that I read when I was a teen called This Present Darkness.
Oh,
And it is a book that the characters are based in the spiritual realm.
yeah.
Like they say, basically the spiritual warfare is about 90% and 10% is only our physical realm. And so it is that whole
Yeah.
angel, demon conversations.
It probably is like,
called
it's
This
probably
Present Darkness,
inspired
and
by
it's-
that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm the most like Christian based agnostic who's Jewish you've ever met.
Oh, I
Okay, so
forgot
if you
about
guys
that,
watched the movie or read the book, The Case for Christ
Yeah.
by Lee
Lee
Strobel.
Strobel.
Lee Strobel.
Yeah.
Yep, that's actually what I started with.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
I
was,
was raised Catholic, and I was like,
yeah.
But yeah,
Recovering,
I don't
you're
know.
a recovering Catholic.
Pretty much, yeah.
I like it when Catholics say that. Because actually, I really like the Catholic religion. It's cool.
Says someone who probably wasn't raised Catholic.
And I wasn't raised Catholic whatsoever.
Memorize this shit and stand up and sit down at these times. Yeah, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Stacy's
raised
Catholic.
Were you?
yeah.
Like Orthodox, like Mexican Catholic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Virgin Mary. All that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what other books you reading?
Right now?
Yeah.
That's
Always a great topic. Like,
fucking right it is. Right. Now you're talking my
there we
language.
go.
Dude, so you know I speed read, right? I think I've told you this before.
I did not know that.
You didn't?
How
I
did you
could
learn
have
to do
guessed.
that?
Yeah.
I never told you guys this story.
No.
This sucks because we've talked about it on podcasts before, but I'll give you kind of the Cliff Note version.
Yeah.
I'll speed read you through the version.
Perfect.
So when I was a kid, I had to do the project on the Iliad. Do you remember that? Did you have to do that in public school?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Where you
yeah.
had, and like you had to like write out, basically like rewrite the stories of the Iliad.
Yep.
And I procrastinated like a motherfucker. So I had to read it. And remember, the Iliad books were like thick, remember?
Thick, yeah.
And they had
Yeah.
pictures and shit like that. So you had to draw the pictures too. Maybe you don't remember. I remember this because it was like what brought this up. So instead of actually doing it, I had a TV in my bedroom and I had my desk set up. I can remember when I was a kid. I can remember doing this too. And the TV would be like late night, it'd be like 11 o'clock, and I'd be like trying to do homework, but I was also watching like Cartoon Network or something, or MTV.
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. So like, remember late night infomercials would come on, and there were infomercials about speed reading,
Okay.
and there were CDs, and they came in like a CD book, and it was like a CD-ROM
Yep.
and audio situation.
You were like, that was hooked on phonics. That was.
No, yeah. Kumon. It was Kumon. Anyways, so instead of like just sacking up and doing the work, I went downstairs to my mom's purse and I took her credit card out and I ordered the CDs. Now, of course, shipping and handling, it ended up being like 3 weeks later. So I completely blew the Iliad project still.
Yeah.
But I got these CDs. Well, I never used them.
Okay.
Never until college.
No, really.
Wow.
And in college, I would get all stoned and I would like learn the methods of speed reading. And I started learning how to do it. Read the right page first, left page second, and basically you go in from the inside out and you glance for all the keywords and you can basically
Wow.
the faster. And I started working on it with like magazines and textbooks.
Yep.
And it worked really well with that. And then I started reading other books like it. So I got really fast. Like, dude, it takes me like Scotty. It blows my wife away too. Like she'll get in a shower for like a half hour and I'll be like 3 chapters done. And she's like, "How the fuck did you finish like that?
Yeah.
Like fast."
Yep.
So I've been finding books that I have to slow myself down a little bit so I can enjoy it more. Cause like I'll burn through like 4 or 5 books a month.
Yeah. I read like 4 at a time. Like I'll just get bored and I'll go to another one and then I'll go back. And
Do you do that?
yeah.
Yeah, I can't
like
do that.
I'm always reading like three or four at a time.
Yeah, I can't. Well, I couldn't do it in the same topic. But anyways, I got the I Am Leader book, and the books.
Yep.
It's 2 books, and they're really there's a lot of hype behind them, and it's Chris Collins.
Those fucking videos. This is that book.
Oh yeah,
that we're
those
talking
videos are elite. Like from an
Whoever shot
Instagram
those.
like video like that. That's
with,
like whoa.
with the marketing.
The marketing
like
is,
the
yeah,
marketing
really
is really good because it's like a $300 book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chris Collins. So Chris Collins was a big name in the auto industry back in the day. So dealers would pay him basically to come in and like restructure like all their stores and things like that.
Okay.
It's really funny because I bought my dad the books for his birthday. What do you get that guy? And I got him that, and he was like, "Oh, I know Chris." He's like, "This is really cool," and it was even cooler too because when you're part of the syndicate, once you're in the books, I'll show you guys.
Yeah, we were going back and forth. They hit us on Instagram. I think you sent it.
Yeah, I sent it
me,
to you,
And
and
he's like,
Yeah.
"What do you think is in this?" I was like, "I don't know. It just kind of looks like it's kind of artsy type."
So look, Chris actually welcomed me, and I said, "Hey, I just finished both I Am and Leader. Fantastic. Bought my father a copy for his birthday. Appreciate it." And he hits right back. "That's great. If we haven't shipped it yet, I'll get him a signed message." So he actually Chris Collins actually is messaging you inside of their app, and it's really once you get you have to get approved to be in the syndicate. To send them your social media, your business email, and things like that.
Okay.
And then if you're a business owner and stuff like that, you can get into the syndicate, and it's literally all workshops and stuff with held up by Chris Collins himself. It's really special. It's
very
cool.
interesting.
And they literally
Yep.
built it into a community. And
Yep.
the book is fantastic, though. It's fucking fantastic. Just the way it's not anything you haven't learned before. Although I will tell you what we were talking about, the internal and external locus of control.
Yep.
What he goes into with that is really cool. He even goes into like Oprah's story. And I mean, I don't know if you guys knew Oprah's story, but she had a fucked up upbringing. Like it was bad. Like she should never have become, based on everything, you know. And if she had an internal locus of control, she would have never been able to become the first billionaire black woman, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it's really cool how the book's laid out. It's something different for personal development and leadership books. So I definitely recommend it. It's worth $300.
Really?
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, and it's. I believe that it's going to get to the point where, when you walk into another business owner's house, if it's not on his coffee table, you'd be like, "Where's your I Am Leader
Where's
book?"
your copy?
I believe it's going to get to that.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay.
And it was cool how I got my link, because you had to do like referral links and stuff like that originally. I don't know if they still have that. Like you can't buy it from Prime.
No, you have to. I think you have
to
hit up the Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
or know somebody. Yeah, I guess with a link.
Yep. So I got mine from John Matson.
Okay. Yep.
And John sent it over to me, and then I got mine, and I see him in the syndicate and stuff like that too. But I just text him all the time, anyways.
Well, the last time I did a podcast with you, you were talking about writing your book after I wrote mine.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at with that?
Well, Paul, not very far.
Okay. Right up there with coal plunging.
Right? Yeah. No. Book writing. Oh, yeah. Being an author is gay. No. So I.
Do you need a coach?
Eventually, yeah. But we're talking about doing. And I don't really want to talk
Paul,
too
you
much
need to
about
do that.
this.
By the way, seriously, you need to put
I will.
you need to put a program out for people that.
I was just
wanna write a
curious.
book.
I was just curious as a friend, like where you're at. You don't have to divulge anything. We don't.
Yeah, well, I don't want to talk too much about it, but I do want to bring up that Alvaro, my buddy, who's a director, actor, and all of that writer. We're gonna do basically a screenplay,
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
mid budget,
Beard rolls in it.
most likely. He knows how to like do a lot with a little. So we were thinking, if we know there's certain states that will match budget. Like Minnesota will match budget, Michigan will match budget, which is fantastic because I'm from Michigan. So we were like, let's get like a quarter to $500,000. If we can get $750, that would be fantastic to have $1.5 million to put into something that would be a really cool production. But his only contingency was that he got to play me. And
I don't know who you're talking about.
Alvaro is he's an actor. He was in the boxing movie called Counterpunch with Danny Trejo. He starred in that, wrote it, directed it. I was in one of his films that hasn't been released quite yet called The Pickup Artist, which had a lot of big actors in it. But
So why do you want to go that route instead of?
we just have access to a lot of talent. That's kind of why I wanted to go more towards. I have so many relationships with so many like really talented, famous people that are like fun to work with and cool people. With like, and their audiences are the type of people I want to see. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like some broad audience person, and I don't want to have to guess. So, getting to work with like different levels of like, fun bodybuilders, not the douchebag bodybuilders, or to get to work with professional wrestlers and other types of athletes and actors and things like that. It'd just be fun. And they all have an abundant mindset and they all like believe in what I do. So why not take them along on the journey and create something special?
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Plus it's just fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Al wants to do it, and we want to do something about basically about like a sobriety uprising.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's hard to do something like that without it getting boring though. So, because when you have like constant winning, it's like fucking boring.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have the adversity part in there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's cool.
So yeah, that's been kind of my next thing that I want to start to go towards.
Nice.
Just not be boring.
You're gonna write a book too, right?
What's that?
You're gonna write a book too, right?
Yeah, I've years ago I was actually in a publishing contract and I backed out of it, but
Yeah, that's okay.
It was.
You can write it super quick and easy, cheap.
I actually started writing it and I started reading it back and I'm like, I don't think I actually believe half of this. It was more of a business book.
Yeah.
And so I just I can't do this. Now I don't know whether I would do a book based on my life or whether I would do maybe a business fable, kind of a story, but
That
then
could be
has lessons.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
There's I do like reading those types of books, and so I know that I could possibly do that. Just have to figure out the subject matter
Yeah.
and make it fun.
Yeah.
'Cause if it's
gotta
not
be
fun, I
yeah,
don't wanna do it.
it's gotta be
Yeah.
fun.
That's the thing.
It's gotta be creative.
Yeah.
Like the creative process is always like good. Like I like
Yeah.
that piece of bringing this piece together and here and having this idea and then see it come together. Like that's
Yeah. And especially in the business world, because business books get so fucking boring too.
Yeah.
I mean, how many authors really keep your attention that much? I mean, Patrick Bet-David stuff is pretty good right now. Jim Collins stuff is usually really good. Good to Great is fantastic, but it's like when it's like just like case study after case study after case study. It's like
Yeah. I think if I do anything in 2025, I'm going to try to get on some more stages. So I'm going to go back into speaking. Speaking at events, business events, stuff like
Yeah.
that. I did. Yeah, I was telling Paul that's how I was able to get my work visa to even come into the U.S. in the first place. Was I wrote a visa against a skill set that I had that not a lot of people had it. So I was able to craft the appropriate paperwork and visa to come into the U.S. to work in that skill.
yeah, that's something I want to check off my list
Yeah.
to
So,
speak on a stage. And,
but up until that point, I had
So you guys are doing your event though, right?
yeah.
When
Yep.
is that?
November 8th in Centennial, Colorado.
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 8th, 9th, 10th. Yep.
So Friday is the VIP business owner entrepreneur day.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to focus on systems, process, all that goodness, and then into social media branding, social media marketing branding. And then Saturday and Sunday is primarily focused, like a high level theme would be this scarcity to abundance in body, mindset,
Yeah.
relationships.
Figure,
Again,
figure out your weaknesses,
Yep.
where they're at in those areas. Yeah.
yeah, what pain are you in? What possibilities do you have?
Yeah.
But Friday will be good. Friday will be fun too.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, business owners, we're going to do a cigar and chill kind of thing.
Yep.
And,
That's rad.
it's just one of those things. It's like I've always wanted to do an event, and then, we're just like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, but yeah,
It's fantastic, guys.
But yeah,
cool, man.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
This is a long one.
Yeah.
it's good though.
Yeah.
I know. I was just like, I started getting a bunch of alerts at like the half hour mark, or with a half hour left. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I got a jet here soon too. So
Yeah, man. Well, let's do this more often.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime. This is great.
Heck yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for listening. If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. And we'll see you next time on the Wolves Only podcast, powered by JWX. That was not gay.